There we go. We are live. Hello, everybody. Hello, world. This is Margaret of the Margaret Bernard channel on YouTube. I'm historical fiction and speculative fiction author. And I've got some wonderful guests, some readers today to help our readathon in February. So I'll hand it over to Sandy to say hello and introduce us to your channel in case people don't know.
Were you sending it to? I'm sorry. Me?
Yep.
Okay. Off to a screaming start. Hi, everyone. I'm Sandy. My channel name is Miss Reads a Lot. I am an avid reader, but not an author, and am very excited for this event. And to read for this event and promote it. So very, very excited.
Yay. We had a hello to Beth Ann's kitty cat and also the humans in the picture.
Here's the kitty cat.
You want to tell us a little bit about your channel and what you read?
Yeah, I'm Beth Ann, and I have a channel just under my name. I read all kinds of stuff. I feel like the videos I've been making lately have been on the romance side of things, which I would not have said was a genre that I tend to read a lot of, but I guess that's what I've been feeling this winter. But I try to keep it varied. So I try to read all kinds of things and talk about all kinds of things over on my channel. And this is, I guess, the third time that I've participated in the Black Authortuber Readathon. Although the second time was like only sort of a success because I actually only just finished the book I read for it like last week, which I can mention today. I could talk about it today.
Awesome.
It was an intense book and on the longer side, and I did take a hiatus for several months in there, but it was still a fun read. So yeah, I'm going to count that as a success and say this is my third time doing it. So yeah, and the cat is Pooh Bear, and he'll probably poke various body parts up into the frame, I guess, because he's got a little cushion on my desk. Awesome. He's a emotionally needy little fella here. So
I saw someone with a warmer table mat warmer for their cat that they put next to their desk, and I was like,
that's brilliant.
Speaking of cats, we have Leslie here with a channel called Books, Gurs, and Purrs. So pretty brilliant. So you want to say hello and tell us a little bit about your channel and what you like to read?
Hello, everyone. My name's Leslie. I like to read any genre. I definitely geared towards more social justice. And so, yeah, last year I had an author-focused segment once a month. This year, it's just kind of like all over the place, but I'm tackling one small shelf at a time and just trying to not buy so many books.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yes, we were just talking about that. Apparently we need a pause button for all the videos so we can catch up, and a pause on the publishing industry button so that we can catch up on books that have been written. Yes. But yes, we've got some people in the chat who have come. I just want to let everyone know, number one, we do also have Essie Houston coming on, but she's on another stream. She's double booked, so she'll be coming on a little later to tell us what she's excited to read. But everyone's channel should be down below in the description if you want to follow and subscribe to see the reviews that come out eventually. And the reason we're all here. So Black Authortuber Readathon is, as Beth Ann said, in its third year. And basically, I don't really feel like I have a big enough voice to impact Black History Month writ large in like the larger community. But here in my little AuthorTube community where we're pretty tight, I can, bang the drum to get people to go out and read books by people in our sort of smaller community. And I figured that's where I can bring my channel into use. And so I've had 2 good years. I compiled some statistics. If any of you are statistics people to
That's what I do for a living. Did you know that? I'm a data person. I work.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Data and analytics. That's what I do for my daytime job.
Cool.
So
awesome.
Yes.
I don't have it in a very calculatable format, Sandy. It's all written in marker.
No line charts, no graphs.
No.
Work on that for you.
So we've got basically a spreadsheet. I'm doing like a low maintenance with this. We have a spreadsheet that we use as our sort of sharing document, and I will pop that in the chat right now. And so basically I just keep adding to it as we go, and it has the AuthorTuber, a book or two that they have written, people who want to read that book, the genre, which is sort of subject interpretation, and then the buy link if you want to go find it in different formats. We just give one to point people to make it easy. And so if you want to join in, please check out the spreadsheet. I actually went through and highlighted all the authors in the spreadsheet that I've read so far. So I've got like 7 notches in my belt that I'm like bragging about, and excited to read more this next month in February. So Nathan has participated before. My first question was, have you participated before in the Black Authortuber Readathon? I think Leslie's too new to have been here last year, so no. Sandy, were you last year? No. Okay.
I wasn't last year. No, I don't know where I was last year that I wasn't, but no, this is my first. I'm super excited.
I just did the buddy reader tag, and it was fun to list like all the times that I've done buddy reads with people, because I was like, wow, that's like 26. Like, that's a lot. So
yeah, we've done a couple buddy reads, haven't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
So that's one of the ways we're encouraging people to participate, is if you want to read a book and then someone else sees that you're reading the book and goes, oh, let's discuss it, because buddy reads always make a read better, right?
Definitely.
Right? All right. What did you read before, Beth Ann, that pops out? What was the book that took you the whole year that you just like...
Yeah, good question. The book that took me the whole year is Morgan Lee's Seed Among the Rocks. There we go. I've got my angle right. Nice. Which is the second book in her trilogy. And I think this book came out like at the end of 2022. So I should catch up with one of her streams and figure out where she is with the third book. Because I feel like it's probably out.
It's coming out this year.
She's coming out this year. Okay. Yeah. So I read the first book in this trilogy for the first Black Authortuber Readathon, and read the second book starting in the second Black Authortuber Readathon. And I did both of these as buddy reads with SD Houston, although we both sort of fell off the bandwagon of the buddy read. We both started going more slowly through this one during the second year. But yeah, so these are epic, very dark fantasy. And like in the second one of the characters is spending most of the book like basically trying to become a god, which is very like intense, and she's like building followers and everything. So it's sort of intense in like a like universe spanning sort of way, because we've got like old gods and potential new gods, and the gods are at war with each other. So if you like that sort of epic scale conflict, that's what we've got. And there's like demons and fairies and all kinds of fantastical creatures. And then the two characters that we're following most closely, Shaw and Emerton, are in this sort of will they, won't they, like very intense on again, off again romantic relationship. That has a lot of like trauma and baggage associated with it. So it's very intense. It's intense, dark fantasy. But it's also, so like that's the reason why I took like several months off from it at one point, was because I was needing to read lighter stuff, because I had a very intense work life this past year. But yeah, so if you like intense dark fantasy, definitely recommend. It's very plot driven. So the character, we do get character development because you're in the characters' heads, but I would say that it's more of a plotty read, at least for me. So if you like that, that sort of read, that's what these are. So yeah, this is the one that I read last year. I read more the first year, so I can talk about those more later as well. Yeah.
Well, you have landed us first in one of the very popular genres for Black Authortubers. Now, I have been, as you can probably tell, searching high and low for people who I can include and promote their books for this readathon. But the preponderance is fantasy and romance, not necessarily together, but those are the two most popular genres. So my next question is going to be, Leslie and Sandy, like, what genres are you excited to read this year? And is there fantasy in there, or are you trying to go in a different direction? And while you're answering that, I'm just going to pop over because my cat just was sick, and clean that up before it gets into the carpet.
Oh no.
My goodness. Well, so for me, I read a lot of like backlisted books because of my main project, which is reading from the 1001 book list. So fantasy, horror, romance. I love romance. I just don't get to read it very often. But the books I was able to get from the library already. The first one is The Forgotten Girl by India Hill Brown. I actually really want to read this now and not wait until February. I love this cover. It's so cool.
You have 10 days, Sandy. You can wait 10 days.
Yeah, I'll try, but I'm not good at that. And this is listed as MG horror. So yeah, I'm really excited about reading this one. And then the other one, Margaret clued me in that the book that's on the list is the sequel, but it is a YA thriller, and it's this one, Blood Like Fate. So I actually have the first book coming from the library as well. So it should be here hopefully soon. Yeah, Blood Like Magic. I did not realize in selecting this how big these were. But other than that, I'm really interested.
When I read the first one, it was very propulsive, so I wouldn't be too intimidated by the length. I don't know.
It's got a decent sized font in it, thankfully. It's not like some of the other books I have right now. And then the Reformatory is the other one that I really am hoping, fingers crossed, I can get it from the library. I'm still on my Read What You Own challenge. I have 30 more books to read before I can go buy another one. I'm trying really hard to keep to that. So if I can get that one, I'll read that one as well. But those are I guess that would be 4.
Ooh.
I've got 3. I've got 3 with like a backup list of 3, depending on how far I get. So I'll share those in a second. But Leslie, I'll let you go first.
I was going to say that I'm. You and I also have Reformatory. I have mine queued at the library. So I'm like, come on, time.
I don't know.
Please show up on time. I'm sweating over here. All right. So, yes, I want to read all those books as well. I have another one in the queue in the library, so I printed it out. I am looking forward to more romance this year. A friend of mine that's not even in the booktube, I just like corralled into reading books, 1 romance a month. So I will be dipping into romance and also fantasy. There's one by Kimberly Lemming called That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human.
Yes. Oh. She's funny.
Yeah, all her covers are so funny and kind of like look like throwback photos to old romances, but in a silly way. What happened?
She just redid all her covers. So she had some sort of like graphic I can't remember the word, but like a old cartoon kind of look to it. And then she just had them, they're more like industry-ish. But a lot of people really like covers, and so they're like guarding them jealously.
Is that in the spreadsheet? Because that cover and title looks like exactly the sort of thing I would love.
It is not. I can look it up. She might be on TikTok, but not YouTube. And here's the thing: like, I need them to have some sort of representation on YouTube. That's sort of like my only line requirement, because that's like the community. And otherwise, I could just keep stretching it on forever, and then I don't know how to be fair.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Tell me the title again, anyway, please, if you don't mind, Leslie, so I can add it to my.
Of course. It's called That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human by Kimberly Lemming. It's 3 books. It's called Mead Mishaps.
Cool.
And so that's the first one. And also, before I continue, I just want to say I feel like a muggle among wizards. So thank you for having me. Because this is like an AuthorTube thing, I might add one other book. This is like super last minute, so I haven't picked the book, but I do want to read something by Deidre Wright's romance. I haven't read anything by her, but I also follow her on Instagram, and so since she's promoting herself, it's clearly worked because now I want to read her work. But I haven't picked out a book yet. So other books that are not romance related. Let me see. I have some nonfiction. I have like 1 nonfiction. All right. So this is fiction. It's Rainbow Milk by Paul Mendez. And so this is a Jamaican author. I don't know if he's Jamaican American, but I know he's Jamaican. And it just talks about the 1950s, a boxer that leaves Jamaica and goes off to London with his family and just grappling with who he really is. And so that's all about that I know. But I also have a nonfiction memoir by Brendan Kyle Goodman, You Gotta Be You. And
Nice.
so he goes by he, they, he's non-binary, and it's just talking about his journey into self-acceptance.
Mhm.
So I definitely want to read that. And two books that are also very much related to each other are The Color Purple by Alice Walker. The movie came out. I didn't read it in time, so I'm definitely going to read it in February. And I also want to read
one. It's a tough read. It's a very tough
Yeah.
read. Yeah.
I saw the movie when I was way too little.
Well,
And
the
it, like,
original with Oprah Winfrey and Whoopi Goldberg in it. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, so I definitely want to read that, watch the movie, and then also read The Scent of Burnt Flowers, which is actually the director of the new version, the musical. So I kind of want to read both before I see the movie and kind of get an idea of how he put it together. So that's it. That's my pile.
Okay, so The Color Purple. I know that Alice Walker's not on YouTube, but if you have channels for the others, please put them in the spreadsheet. Just like add a row on, and so that we can all get the benefit of getting to know more names. Because I just looked up Kimberly Lemming, and she does have a channel. She doesn't have content, but she does have a channel. So hey,
Channel, it works.
Well, maybe if we shout people out enough, we'll get them to make channels, and then we get content. So that's great.
Yeah. No, there's another gal who's on Instagram who I see periodically, Sharon C. Cooper, and her covers are great. Her stories, they're Black romance. They look really good. And so I've got a couple to read, and I'm like trying to ping her to ask her, hey, have you thought about taking some of your videos or your reels and putting them on YouTube? So
the reels would be easy to translate over to YouTube for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so we've got some movement in the comments. Barrett people were saying that they've read some of the people on the sheet. So we've definitely read author Morgan Lee's books, and we've got Eva has both of hers on her TBR. Shannon, you ready to come on? Okay, come on.
Yay, Shannon!
Hi.
Shannon, I just told everyone I finally finished the second book in Morgan Lee's trilogy, which you and I tried to buddy read last February, and I know I totally fell off the face of the earth with that. But I finished it. Yay!
Yay! Awesome. It's amazing. I wish more of these were available at the library too. That's the other thing that I'm I can't get some of them, so I'm gonna have to decide if I want to buy some other ones, because like there's one I love the title of Culinary Confessions by Joanne Lambo. Yes. Oh, come on, a contemporary romance book that features cooking. Yes, please, that would be lovely.
Yes, and I went to request a copy of someone's book at my library, and they have said that they are paused for the month. I think because they're all the capital improvements that they're doing, and they don't have the bandwidth. But I was like, the wrong time. Not like it wouldn't take 3 months anyway to request a book, but it is possible to go to your local library system and figure out where they have request of material and put in the ISBN and ask them to purchase a copy, and then you're making that available for the general population, which is a lovely thing to do.
I think it might be Kindle Unlimited, but I don't know if you've got Kindle Unlimited.
I don't have Kindle Unlimited. I have Prime.
Gotcha.
But
okay, pause in the chat. Shannon, did you want to say hello and what your channel does in case people don't know?
Hello, everyone. I'm Shannon. I write under the pen name of S.C. Houston, and I do have a YouTube channel under the name of S.C. Houston where I do a ton of writing sprints. I'm also part of the AuthorTube Writing Conference team with Margaret Pinard and others, and we are going through applications now for that. So in a couple of months, there will be some updates. I'm also part of the Self-Publishing Tips and Tricks podcast with Ben Pick from Running to Write and Morgan Lee, and that comes out weekly on the channel as well. And then for February, I'm doing a special show called Charm Chats and Happily Ever After Sprints, in which I'm bringing on a fantasy romance author nearly every day in February to talk about fantasy romance, talk about some of their work, play a game, and then do some sprints.
Sounds Awesome. So we're divided by color and by screen. Shannon and I are the authors, like the booktubers, but it's okay. We want everyone to be together. We want everyone to discuss opinions. So we're glad to have everyone. Barrett's saying he's read a few of Tamara Wood's cozies, but didn't know she had a poetry collection. So people are discovering new stuff. We've got D. Blair Gold's on the list. Yes. Ava's got one of hers and one of Tiffany's. So that is the channel for Kimberly Lemming. If people are interested in the Got Drunk and Married a Werewolf, I think is the title.
Accidentally saved a human, I thought.
Oh, there's that too.
They're both. Yeah, they're both. Yeah.
Wow.
There's three actually, but
I know.
the other one was like I
all.
needed
Okay.
a something love potion, which is probably the werewolf one.
Yes. Okay, so shorts. This isn't limited by length of the book. It can be a novella. It can be a short story. However you want to participate. Like I said, the only thing is that they have to be an author. They have to have a book. They have to have a YouTube channel. That's the only lines I'm using here. Beth Ann says she read her poetry collection 2 years ago. Now she wants to see the cozies. So yes, so basically the lesson here is please add to the spreadsheet if you get more people's names, more people's channels, and sign up if you are able. Sandy, I put your name in on the 2 that you had mentioned that you got from the library, but if you want to go in and edit where your name is for Buddy.
Yeah, I put in my name on the Forgotten Girl already as well. So yeah, I just went and did that. I'm multitasking. As
What's
per
the
usual.
pink mean on the spreadsheet?
What is the what?
The pink on people's names?
That was just for me. I highlighted the ones that I've read already so that I could just brag to people that I've got 7 different already read and excited to read more of.
Oh.
So yeah, that was part of today.
I just saw your post on Snapshot of Love by Sky Winter, which is also Deidre's book.
Yes.
And I have actually read that already. So I'm going to add myself to that because I already read it.
Can we add the author's YouTube channel name on the spreadsheet? I think that would be super helpful.
I thought I maybe had that in a previous version, but possibly not. I thought of that and I will just add a new column. How about that?
That would be amazing.
Okay, so I'll work on that later, but you can pop it in there if you like, if you want to multitask during today's stream.
That's a little bit too intensive of a multitask.
Yes, so any length, yes, it counts. It asks for channel information. I don't plan to do content about the read if that's a requirement. No, you don't have to be an author-tuber to participate. I guess it's just a way for other people to contact you. So if you are on other channels, for example, if you have Instagram and you want to DM with people about your buddy read, Eva, I would say put in your Instagram link or whatever you want to use to chat with people about reads.
Oh, so that's for us.
Yeah, the one on the right is the people who are going to read together, and then I just put a new column on the left towards the
Reader
author
channel contact link.
channel. Yeah.
Okay. I got mine in there.
And apparently Barrett and Morgan are hanging out, and Morgan is listening to people talk about her book in the Matrix. Oh my gosh, that's funny. And we've got some former participants. Ben was in here running to write. Hello. He's just with Shannon on her live stream with Nia.
Well, no, I was on Nia's live stream scripting the book.
Yeah.
We were talking about Wheel of Time.
Yes. I lurked for most of it, and then I had to come over here and get ready. But yay! Okay, so we participated before. We've talked a little bit about the reads that we're excited about. Shannon, did you put your name down for any that you wanted to read that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I added myself to Blood Like Magic because I have read that with you actually 2 times ago.
Yes.
And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, I could take part in that discussion. And refresh it. I still have the book. Actually, that was a gift by Barrett Laurie. So I have that. One that I have not read that I really have been wanting to read for a long time, and this would be a perfect excuse to do it, is Angel Born by El Penelope. So I think I already have the book. I have it as an ebook format. It's been on my TBR for a long time.
Nice. That's like the first one I read when I started this. So that was good. Yeah. I think you'd like it. Fantasy romance, and you start with a good cover, it only gets better from there.
And then when I saw that Deidre's pen name, her other pen name was on there with when I saw that on your Instagram, I thought, oh, I've read that. I just read that, so that'd be perfect.
Nice. Yeah. So if you want to do a discussion about it, you can always just add your name to the cell with the other reader and then just contact them and say, hey, I also just read this book, or I also want to read this book. Do you want to do it together? And then, if your schedules permit, you can do a live discussion like the one I popped in the chat. If anyone wants to go watch, I can't remember what we did with spoilers. I'm pretty sure we would have like a tag up if we talked about spoilers, because I try to do that on my channel. But yeah, good stuff. Formats. So I was going to ask about formats and how you read. So Sandy brought this up a little bit about like getting from the library, and sometimes that can mean that you have a long time to wait. What about, are you guys ebook readers in general? Do you do it especially for this readathon? Do you do audiobooks? What's your plan? Leslie, you want to start over here?
Oh, okay.
I was like, it's hard to tell where you're pointing when you go like
there. Yeah, there we go.
So in terms of format, I do like to read print. If it's a dense material, like I just finished reading The Wretched of the Earth by Frantz Fanon. It's so dense that I had to hybrid read it. So I borrowed from the library the audiobook through Libby.
Yeah.
And just followed along, because I felt like if I didn't, I couldn't really like plow through it. So for more complicated reads, I like to do dual format. But I'm pretty sure for Kimberly Lemmings, I'm probably just going to read print and enjoy it, that kind of thing. So it's really determined by the density of the material and also availability. Like I'm definitely going to try to borrow more from the library, as long as everything's accessible.
Yes. And if you can request, just a reminder. How about you, Beth Ann?
Yeah, I prefer print. I think I have to decide exactly what I'm going to read, but I've got a little print stack.
Yay!
So yeah, I have the two Sambury books. I have Blood Like Magic, and I also have Delicious Monsters. And then I would love to read JC's book, because I've had this for a while now and haven't read it. It's been sitting on my bedside shelf, waiting to be read. So I'll probably try to stick with print, but I read the first round of the Black Authortuber Readathon. I read 3 of Nicole Falls's contemporary romance books, because they're on the shorter side, maybe almost novella length, or sort of a longer novella. And they were just lovely, just real people, regular people doing regular people things and falling in love, and they were just very cute and well done. So it also wouldn't shock me if I picked up another 1 or 2 of those on the Kindle, because those would be perfect for my I'm trying to unwind at the end of the day and just read for 20 minutes before bed sort of thing. So I might also end up going that route as well. But I prefer print, to stick with the original question. So.
Okay. All right. Sandy?
So I'm open to any format if I can get it from the library right now. And I can check out ebooks and physical books from the library, and audiobooks, which is amazing. Very lucky in the Pacific Northwest that we have a very robust library system. So, but the second part, if I were to buy one, I'd buy it in a digital format. One, because it's less expensive. I can keep it with me all the time. So that would be my preferred path. I do like the immersive reading experience though, Leslie. I do that with very complicated books as well. I like to have the audiobook and the physical book so I can just really get into the story. And then I miss it when I'm hitting a difficult book and I don't have an audiobook. It's like that book is 10 times harder then. So.
And this is the first time I've heard people mention that. Usually I hear people trying to do this to both and getting frustrated because one will go faster than the other. So that's really interesting. That would, a more difficult subject material.
You definitely, I think with an audiobook and reading, you have to get the pace of the audiobook at a pace that you're comfortable with. That's not too slow for you and not too fast, right? And so there's usually a happy medium in there. I can't go beyond a certain speed of an audiobook. If it gets beyond like, I think it's like 1.5, I can't, it starts sounding like a robot to me and it doesn't add to the experience. I have been listening lately at just 1.0 speed, and there's something just kind of like almost therapeutic about reading a book that slow. And it's been a nice experience as well. So I'm doing a little bit more of that.
Nice. And how about you, Shannon? I know the answer. Print. Is it print?
It is print. But I do like to read. I actually sat down like the end of December to think, okay, I wrote down all the books I read throughout the year because I was like, how much do I actually read? I don't ever set reading goals, but I had read and completed 104 books, and I had started 2 more that I didn't finish until right after January, like January 2nd and January 3rd is when I finished the other 2. And so most of that does come from Kindle Unlimited because I do read a lot. And so it would be expensive to buy a whole lot. I do prefer print. I had 12 of those books were print. For those who know me, I can't do just usually audio stuff because I'm a bit tone deaf, so I can't understand. But there were, I did 4 audiobooks, and 2 of them were just straight contemporary romance. Those were really easy to understand. One was a fantasy. That one was harder. I was re-listening to chapters over and over again. And then the 4th one, I actually read in conjunction, immersive with the book while I was reading it. And that was Fourth Wing. And 1.0 was too slow. I did about 1.5. And I loved it. I loved hearing it and reading it at the same time. I love that experience because I do have trouble with hearing stuff, but it was great.
I don't remember which channel I was watching where she was listening to, I think it was maybe the Midnight Reader, maybe. She was listening to the Fourth Wing and she was just like, I can't stand this girl's voice in my head anymore. Like it was just this constant, over and over again. I thought that was hilarious. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of that in there. Did you like Fourth Wing, Shannon?
I did. I liked it. Yeah. I sold it to my gym trainer and his wife. They bought a copy for themselves.
Did you like the ending?
Yes, I did. I did like it. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready for the next book. I mean, it's available, but I just haven't got it yet because I'm like, but there's going to be at least, like, she said 6 months later she was going to do the next book, but now she's going to hold off on it.
Iron Flame, the end.
Iron Flame, yeah, is out. But yeah, but she said it was going to be, she said she'd get the next book out in 6 months, but because there were so many issues with the print run on Iron Flame, she's like, I'm taking my time on this next one. I'm like, really? Is that going to be like another year or 2 years? I don't even start Iron Flame until I know when the next book's coming out.
Sorry, that was a big tangent, Margaret.
She's not Patrick Rothfuss. I mean, there's no like waiting for that long, right? So we should be okay. So as booktubers and authortubers, maybe you haven't read the books yet, but you've got channels to shout out that you've been watching content of and are really excited to read books of. So I'll give you a minute to think about that. I'm going to talk about the books that I'm excited to read about because I got to do overlays for those to prepare, which you guys did not. So the first one, I just shared these on Instagram. As Shannon mentioned, Snapshot of Love by Sky Winter. That is a pen name of Deidre and Anderson. And it's a short romance, which is not a one-night stand, Richard, but it is going to be a fun romance, small time, insta love. I'm excited for some of the tropes that I see in there. I've got the Reformatory, which is going to be in audio format for me. I'm a little worried it's going to be very slow and dramatic, and my impatience is going to make me speed it up. But I think it's going to be very dramatic and intense. So when I'm buddy reading this with some of the panel, like we will have a lot to discuss, I believe. Tananarive Due is only recently discovered as a YouTube channel holder, so I'm very excited to include her on the list. And she's been on some other channels like Locked Up Petition as an interviewee, and so very excited to dive into one of her works that I don't think will scare the pants off me, which some others might. And then finally, I've got another L. Penelope read. That's Leslie Penelope. It's called The Cupid Mix-Up. It's another short romance. Instead of insta love small town, I think it's more contemporary romance feel with a little bit of supernatural because Leslie can't help herself. So I'm very excited about those 3 as like my must reads, and then I've got like 3 backups after that if I'm tearing through it.
That cover on the first one looks spicy.
Yeah. I'm excited. Okay, so YouTube channels that you watch of Black authortubers that do a great job, and what do they do that attracts you, that like makes you want to watch? Anyone who wants to jump up?
Of author-tubers or of booktubers?
I was gonna say author-tubers because that's who we're highlighting, but if you've got Black booktubers that come to mind as well.
I'll let other people go first.
Well, on the AuthorTube side, so I've basically not been watching YouTube for like 6 months, which is very sad for me. Yeah, it's also so the videos I have been catching on YouTube, whether it's BookTube or AuthorTube, are more likely to be productivity streams these days, and that's one of the things I love about AuthorTube. Because even though I'm not an author, a lot of my job is like me sitting at my desk for long periods of time, trying to stay focused. So Morgan and JC both often have streams that I pop in and out of, and of course Shannon, who's in today and is not a Black AuthorTuber, but just as a productivity streamer. But so these days, that is what I appreciate most is the AuthorTube supporting productivity of all comers. And yeah, JC and Morgan both do that a lot on their channels.
Very cool. So that's author JC Carpenter, for anyone who's for her name on the spreadsheet, and author Morgan Lee, and they're both on the spreadsheet. So feel free to subscribe as soon as I input that column of YouTube links.
I'm same with Beth Ann. I've not caught anything but just other streams. I caught Tiffany's yesterday. So it's another Black AuthorTuber that's who's on the spreadsheet. So
Was that a productivity stream? Because I'm always looking for more productivity streams that I can remember.
Was it? I think it's like a short story productivity stream, but you could do whatever you want to do.
Sure. Yeah. I'm down. Cool.
So she has them on Thursday and I think Saturday mornings.
Right. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thursday afternoon, Saturday morning.
So I will say that as part of this, one of the reasons why I like this is this event is because it did bring up a big hole that I have in my subscriptions and what I watch. And so going out and making sure I am subscribed to different authors, I have not been good about that. Regardless of anything else, I just haven't been very good at that. So I did subscribe to India Hill already, and then I did subscribe to Liselle Sambury. So yeah, I'm excited to learn more and watch more. But yeah, it definitely brought up that I have a big gap in my reading and my subscribing. So I'm excited to rectify that. It should be fun.
I don't know how recent India Hill's videos will be. I know Liselle still regularly puts out videos, and what's interesting is she often does vlogs, but they incorporate like publishing industry sort of insider looks. And so if you're curious about like behind the scenes, this is what people earn, or this is what people go through to get here, or this is what like a typical year process of publishing looks like, that are really interesting. So yeah.
Liselle had something 5 days ago, so she's pretty new. Or I mean, had something fairly recently. And then India Hill Brown had something 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, cool. That's the one I hadn't checked on. So yeah. Nice.
But you're right. Before that, it was a bit of a gap. She read something from one of her novels. She read a chapter.
Nice. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna make a note to ask about when I have the Black AuthorTubers on. Ask them about reading, because that's like a hot topic for authors right now. Is reading your own work as audiobooks on your channel. So,
hot topic in what way? Like people debating should you, shouldn't you?
Yeah. Does it cannibalize the audience? Should you separate it? Is it going to get you in trouble with Amazon algorithms of AI detecting your voice? Or, I don't know.
What does cannibalize your audience mean in that context?
So what I think it means is that if you have for example, a following on Twitter and a following on YouTube, and on, is that going to work? No, here's where I've usually heard it. If you have a following on Facebook and a following on YouTube, like A Mighty Blaze does, this is one of the things we talked about early on. If you're streaming to both places, but you started on Facebook, are you just dragging some of the Facebook people to YouTube, and so you'll have less of an impact on Facebook in terms of getting the word out? Are you cannibalizing the audience and just putting it somewhere else rather than growing?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why they use cannibalize.
Yeah.
So in the audiobook, is it that if you have someone else narrate your book, especially if it's someone, a celebrity or whatever, that you'll get more people listening to it? Is that the idea?
So there's lots of options for audiobooks. There's read your own, there's hire a professional narrator, and now they're introducing virtual voices on Amazon, which is the controversial part. So it's
Wow.
AI reading out the work. And Shannon has, I think, several videos on this now, probably, and has experience in it. But others, let's see, not even talking about Amazon, have talked about doing it on your channel and wondering whether that's beneficial or whether it takes away from audiobook sales. Is it a draw because you're getting viewers but you're not getting sales, like that sort of thing? So
I follow Lindsay Baroker on YouTube, and she puts books up, like her first in series, which are already free on almost every platform, and she puts it up on YouTube, and then she'll talk about how those always lead to people buying. Not everyone, but of course it does lead to sales in the rest of her series. So, but she has a lot of books, so I think that helps.
Right. Yeah, because then you can use one as like the bait.
Yeah.
So here, if you like this, you may want more. If you don't have that, maybe you don't have that as an option. Yeah. So we had Eva's comment about format. I like owning physical books, but reading ebooks is okay. I've been reading one of each.
So I like reading physical books. I don't like owning them because it takes up so much room.
That's true. That's true. I've heard you mention that before.
I'm running out of room.
Same.
Yeah. Planning to give audiobooks a try. Excellent. Richard Holiday is here. Hello, Richard. He's also talking about having AI read it. Beth Ann says, I like audiobooks, but mostly doing chores because like the mind needs something when the hands are doing something. That makes sense. We've got Nia coming in to say hello.
Try to do that with audiobooks, but it seems like if I'm not sitting and focused, my mind just wanders, and now the story is 5 minutes on and I don't have any idea what's going on. I have to like be focused. It's weird.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I have to have something to like sort of pull half my brain so that I can listen with half my brain.
They're a trip. They're a real trip.
Yeah. What are these?
Do it while driving. I'm not sure what that means. Am I not paying close enough attention in my driving? But yeah.
Right.
Morgan Lee is my critique partner, so she reads all my stuff first.
Nice.
Yay. Morgan is here saying hello. Yeah. Okay. So I think this was the definition for cannibalize. Barrett was filling in here. We're talking about giveaways, which is related but sort of a tangent. Yeah, reader magnets. I'm sure this is like business insider talk. Nia says I like to listen while doing something too. Yeah,
I don't think I would mind that if it's someone I can understand, but I can't understand most people, especially on audiobooks.
Yeah.
I was just gonna jump in for a second because I almost forgot. Because I don't know a lot of like authortubers or that community, but Quinn's Ideas, if you ever heard of his channel,
No.
He's like what I aspire to in terms of like how he disseminates information about books. He has a really great video on the 3-body problem. It's like a series that's going to be adapted on Netflix, and that's how I got hooked up onto him, because his approach is kind of he might have a photo or something like that, basically removing himself from it and just having like a narration. But he also does live streams and chats about books. And I think he crowdfunds some of his books through different platforms, which I kind of barely learned about. So he's someone also to look into. But someone that's not an AuthorTube is, City Girl Writer. She has a lot of reading sprints that kind of align with my timeline. So I tend to watch hers. And sometimes she has her mom on. So it's more of a community family feel. And I really enjoyed that.
Cool. Is it Steady Girl or Study Girl?
City
Girl. Writer. Nice.
I'll put it in the comments.
I'm grabbing the links, put them in here so we can have a record.
I feel like I'm gonna have so much homework after this. Like I already knew I was gonna come out with more books I want to read, and now there's all these channels that I want to go watch.
It's glorious. That's like
life is hard.
Yeah.
I'll drop coins in there.
The next question I had, I think is more geared towards Sandy and Leslie, which is, do you see double dipping happening with some of these books? Because I know we like to do more than one readathon. We have long-term read what you own or 1,001 books. And like, I don't know, like the author focus per month, if you had thought through any like, oh, well, I'm going to do this for this. And I don't think any of mine coincide. I think.
Yeah, I would say they're not quite aligning because like the ones, I know there's a Sherlock Holmes readathon in February. It's like Holmes is where the heart is or something like that. Obviously those aren't going to work. So I'm not as familiar with as many events in February that I can double dip, but I am struggling to keep my TBR reasonable. I know that will come as a shock to anyone who watches like my TBRs. So I'm going to start with the few that I have and then kind of expand from there and see how many I can read. But no, not right now.
We have Faro February, which is fantasy romance, comes along.
Nice.
I don't know anyone hosts it, but it's just like a theme for February. There's also
a group, Faro. There's a group they host it. So
they're authors who host it. There's also Fae Folklore February, which is hosted by Kat Loyacano, and I can't remember her channel name at the moment, but she's doing something that is folklore related, which is totally open to some of the themes that I've seen in the books people have chosen. So like that could be really cool.
Yeah, there's not really a lot of crossover on my end, but I've actually just kind of attached myself to a couple of things last minute. So it's like I really thought it through. So maybe if I had like more of a strategy in terms of planning, there'd be more crossover. But yeah, same thing. Unreasonable TBR for sure.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous that I have so many that I'm like, oh, I should read this one and this one. And I thought I was doing really well with buddy reads in February, and then realized I have 4. Like, no.
That's a lot.
Counting the 2 that you're on here. You're on Bloodline. Okay.
No, it's I didn't mean to, but it happened that way.
Yeah, Kat's Novel Adventures. Thank you, Anita. People are complaining with what's that called? Backhanded compliment about the soft elevator jams. I'm seeing you, Baron.
I called it hold music earlier, so that wasn't.
I thought he was complimenting you. It's what Annie said she's gonna keel over.
Yeah.
So I can turn it off.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I have a bit of a cold, so I would be sleepy anyway, no matter what. So.
Okay, so the things that I have planned for the readathon, which might be exciting for some of you to want to participate in, include the live discussions. So like previous years, I almost forgot. I'm going to put in the playlist for previous years, so people can see what that looks like in case they're curious, but also a little scared because that happens. I don't want to judge. So live discussions are always fun when you do a buddy read. You can also just do it solo and have a book review because every book review helps the author. Don't be afraid. You might want to like tag me in that so that I can add it to the playlist so more people can see it, because that's what we're intending to do, is raise the profile of these authors. I had a new idea this year, which was to include some debuts. So stay tuned for more information on that. Books you may not have heard of and may not be on the spreadsheet, may be featured. So we'll hold on to your hat with that. And then, like I said, we're going to have a kickoff that will be like with Black Authortubers participating. I have a message out on that to see what might happen with it. And a thrilling conclusion. Which is like our concluding party last year, was just everyone gets to come in and like talk about the books and have fun and ask questions of the authors whose books you read, perhaps. So I have no pretensions that Tananarive Due is going to come on my channel, but I think some of the smaller channels will definitely be excited to come on and talk to the readers. So you want to like poke some of your favorite AuthorTube friends, or, you know, whose book you're reading, you want to subscribe and say, hey, you should come over here. That'd be really fun. I know we haven't started the books yet, unless you're Sandy and can't wait. I actually started a couple pages of Deidre's that I downloaded. I couldn't help it either.
I haven't started it yet. I just want to.
Okay. Well, I read the first page and I was like, oh, this is going to be good. I can tell. So it's fine. That's fine.
I mean, I guess I could read it as a promotion for your event and say, Margaret's doing this and I read this one early.
Go. And you can review it in February. I think our thrilling conclusion sort of party will probably be beginning of March, because I'll be gone for a week at the end of February. But like, maybe keep that in mind if you want to come back on. I don't have a date or time yet, but that should be fun. So much steam from Deidre. Yes. We're all for it. We're here for it. Leslie, did the two nonfiction books that you have authors on YouTube? Because nonfiction is a big blank for me when I try to find authors. There's one debut that I'm hoping to corral, but like otherwise I'm not finding Black
No,
authors.
I think Brandon Goodman is on Instagram quite a bit. I don't think he has a YouTube, but I'll double check right now actually, and I'll find out.
So yeah, so get those names on the sheet. If you find they have a channel, I'm all for it. But
otherwise, the author of My Body Is Not an Apology, I don't know if you've read that, Sonia Renee Taylor. She has a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. Let me put that on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to read that forever.
It's very, very good. I mean, the book is phenomenal. I gave it 5 stars last year. It's heart-wrenching. You know, it's just tough to read a lot of the stories, but it has a lot in there that for anyone who struggles with body image, regardless of whether it's being overweight or underweight or whatever it is, there's a lot of things in there that apply, and really just treating your body and having a lot of self-love, which is, you know, something I struggle with. So, but yeah, she does have a YouTube channel out there.
Got it.
And Your Body Is Not an Apology is nonfiction.
Okay, awesome. I will put that on the spreadsheet. Yes. Short reads are easy payoff. I wonder if Richard's still here when I come back to that. Oh. But yeah, so hopefully this will, like, you know, bleed the lines between author-tubers and booktubers and all different backgrounds and readers and writers, and we'll just all have fun reading books and promoting people and, you know, having fun. That is the goal. So I think I said all the things that I didn't want to forget to say. I still have my stats that I didn't go through. So we had 8 readers participating the first year. We had 9 readers participating the second year. So with your guys' help, I think we'll get like another half, maybe. I know Morgan's on the list, even though she couldn't make it. But, you know, get some more people going. We got another week to recruit, get some more readers. And then the first year we had 13 authors read. Second year we had 12 authors read. So I'm like good with another dozen to get the motion flowing. Anything else going on in February for you guys that you wanted to notify people about on your channels?
I do not plan. So no, but I am going to try to do weekly videos. The semester I have coming up should be a lighter semester than my last several semesters. I always say this, I feel like, but I'm going to try for weekly videos. And especially this would be a great reason to.
I swear I'm the exact opposite of Beth Ann. Because like, here's a schedule of like ideas and the days that I could put the video up on.
Oh my God.
And yeah. But it's old school paper. It's not digital. So yeah, it's just. And I make it about half the time of what my plan is as far as creating things, but I do have a plan.
Shannon, I know you have Charmed Chats as a series. Did you want to tell us a little bit what that's going to be?
I have about 20 authors signed up right now. I'm hoping if possibly get a couple more. And I had totally forgot about Leslie Penelope, that she was a fantasy romance author until this Black Authortuber Readathon. So I'm gonna reach out to her, but the days are limited, so I don't know if she'll find anything that will work in her schedule. But yeah, 1 per day, 20 so far. And they'll just come on. We'll talk about fantasy romance, we're going to talk about one of their works. We're going to play a fantasy romance themed game, like Would You Rather or Pictionary, but fantasy romance. So we've got different games we're going to play and then do a writing sprint. And then some of the writing sprints will be like open, and then I'm leaving it up to the author. They get to choose. Do they want an open writing sprint? Do they want a romance fantasy prompt ahead of time, or a random one during the stream, or one that they bring? So they get to choose what they want to do.
Nice.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
Yeah. And then the schedule is like all over the place because I let them choose times that I was totally available on the day that they wanted. So
cool.
That's great. All right. So for me, oh yeah. Sorry. I was just gonna say that same thing. Once a week, I'm trying to get my videos out on Saturday. I'm gonna try to do more sprints. I'm more of a nighttime gal. I know some of you are like in the morning or afternoon, and I'm not conscious then. Yeah.
You're also at a disadvantage because you're on Pacific time with me, so I get it.
Yeah, but I'm not like a fully functioning human being in the morning. And I see, because I subscribe to you ladies, I can see that you're sprinting, and I'm like, my brain isn't working. But kudos to you for getting an early start. So yeah, this year I'm doing like really late night sprints for, me and the owls. But, cool. Nice.
My early bird. I'm a wake up at 5. That's my prime reading time, is between like 5:30 and 8:30 before I have to go to work and it's quiet in my house. Yeah, that's when I do the bulk of my reading. And then I'm in bed by 9. So my husband calls me an old lady, like fair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be a success just to have them on and be able to talk to all these fantasy romance authors. That's going to be the fun part for me. So.
It's exciting.
I was just talking with Denise Williams, who is a romance writer, and we were talking about tropes. And romance as a genre has so many familiar tropes where you can go, oh, they're going to go this, and you can use it in marketing, as Deidre has done very well in her Amazon descriptions, which I noticed. But, the best romance authors are bringing depth to the characters behind it to make it like individual and feel relatable and real. And so I was like, fantasy romance probably has like a tweaked version of tropes that would be really fun to think about. I tried to look for historical fiction tropes, and there's a few lists out there that come up with search traffic, but like nothing that's really a trope. And I'm like, this is depressing. I want tropes. I want stuff to play games with.
You could start it.
Yeah, but there's nothing really that's like a trope for historical fiction. You introduce a real life figure. Like, that's not a trope. That's, I don't know. You have a dual timeline. That's a structure. That's not a trope. Like, I think the only one that I thought really qualified was you have a protagonist ahead of their time. And I was like, okay, yes. That happens way too often, and you can recognize it, and sometimes it's done well, but most of the time, like, you roll your eyes, you're like, okay. But yeah, so anyway, fun stuff to play with that other genres get, but not me. So yeah, I think we covered everything I had. You guys have talked a little bit about your February plans or non-plans. And I would just encourage anyone to visit the spreadsheet, check out the authors on being featured, check out their channels, subscribe, give a book a try. And, for you guys, just like mention it on your channels, your big influencer folks, and get other people to read Black Authortubers too. Sound good?
Very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope to have a big pile of books at the end of the month to come back and talk about. I hope.
I've added two more books on the list since we've been talking here.
Love it. I love it. So thank you all so much for coming on and being our first group of readers to help announce the readathon. I'm hopeful we'll get some great books read and boost some great authors. And until then, let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments. I respond to every comment on my channel. I think that is true. So yeah, there we go. Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.